Oh, so Oda, this is what you meant. Well, I apologize. I was not familiar with your game because this is unexpected. So guys, what's happening here? One Piece chapter 1071 spoilers will be in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, per usual, just click off and come back, go read the chapter. Where can you find it? I don't know. If you join my Discord, maybe someone can tell you. Either way, in the chapter 1071, Oda is basically setting it up for our boy Garp to go and fight our boy Blackbeard. They're both our boys, alright? This is scary, and this makes Oda's message, his message at Jump Festa, makes so much sense. If you haven't heard Oda's message, I'll link the video right here if you want to go check it out. But here's a TLDR. Oda's basically saying that One Piece is not going to end as quickly as he initially said it was, because you know Oda does that. Two, it's obviously the final saga, and he's going to be drawing everything he wants to draw. And the biggest thing is that, well, that person will fight that person, and it's going to be a free-for-all battle royale. But here's something I want to clarify because it could be misconstrued as the same thought. And Oda's done this before in different messages where we sometimes take things the wrong way and we're like, okay, this is definitely what he meant, when that's not what he meant. So here's the final paragraph of what Oda was saying at Jump Festa. He said, and finally, for the future of the One Piece manga, no way, that person and that person are going to be fighting? Asking the question, which implies these people probably shouldn't be fighting, which you could think it could be Garp, it could be Blackbeard. However, that doesn't feel like, these people are gonna be fighting, because one's a marine, one's a pirate. These guys could definitely cross paths. Surprising, but it doesn't feel like that. I'll address that in a second. But he goes on to say, that's the type of story you can expect. If I were to give it a title, I'd call it a free-for-all battle royale. I hope no one dies. In this paragraph alone, it can be taken as one complete thought. That person and that person are gonna be fighting. Then he goes on, that's the type of story you can expect. If I were to give it a title, I'd call it a free-for-all battle royale, which implies that that person versus that person is the battle royale. But what about this perspective? What about him saying, hey, that person and that person are gonna be fighting, question mark? Then he goes on to say, that's the type of story you can expect. Now it's a different thought. He's talking about 2023, so then he goes on to say, if I were to give it a title, I'd call it a free-for-all battle royale, which again, for me, it's saying, yes, 2023 there's gonna be a lot of free-for-alls. It's gonna be a battle royale. But it doesn't mean that these two people, that person versus that person, specifically references or is going to be necessarily a battle royale. Does that make sense? Yes, it can be taken as that, but I just want us to take a step back and not just always look at it and say everything is one complete thought, because sometimes Oda does that where things are different thoughts and they're all in one paragraph, so we all take it the same way, like Marineford and it looking cute, all these different things. We thought it was the war in Wano, right? Because the war in Wano, or what was going on in Wano, the final battle in Wano, was something that Oda was addressing in the previous paragraph. The Marineford looking cute was Oda talking about the final battle. So you see how things can get mixed up? Either way, One Piece chapter 1071 presented a bunch of possible scenarios. The battle royale that a lot of people are speculating could happen involves numerous characters. Again, the Marineford looking cute thing, it applies here because there's going to be a lot of big names, a lot of big players, and even in Egghead, Oda is bringing back big names, big players. Some people may not look at Rob Lucci as a big name or a big player, but he is, for all intents and purposes, the strongest CP0 agent left. I regret to inform some of you guys that Grenica, the guy that Kaido killed, who tipped his cap because he was about to die, did not in fact die because he took the picture of Gear 5. I mentioned that before, but just for people that don't know, he's alive. But Rob Lucci is the strongest CP0 agent. Either way, Kizaru is about to pull up to Egghead. Garp is supposedly about to pull up on Blackbeard. Kid is in Elbaf, who a lot of people speculate for it to be Shanks' territory. Law is currently fighting Blackbeard. Kobe is captured. Aokiji is, from what we know, working under Blackbeard as a Blackbeard pirate. The drip changed. He looks just like a Blackbeard pirate now. Saul, for whatever reason, is in Elbaf, or for whatever reason, he's alive. Things are starting to move in a direction where I'm like, okay, Oda, you can't trick me anymore. I'm familiar with your game, or at least that's what I thought. Until he broke my ankles this week saying Garp is gonna go fight Blackbeard. Now again, people are saying Garp has learned his lesson. Garp is going to go after Kobe because, well, he didn't save Ace. Completely different situations, not gonna get into that right now, or maybe we should. Okay, really quickly. The reason why Garp and Kobe and Garp and Ace are completely different things is, well, for one, Kobe has not done anything wrong, okay? Kobe has lived his life and been an upstanding Marine, and for Garp, he cannot let this kid die because he raised him, for the most part, as a Marine. For Ace, Ace was a pirate. Garp tried to make him a Marine, right? He tried everything in his power to put Ace on the correct path, even though Ace and his lineage, who knows if he would ever be accepted by the world government. I mean, Garp is a D himself, and he's accepted, but would the son of Roger be accepted into the Marines? I mean, that could be a war cry for them, saying, hey, Roger, the Pirate King, his son is now a Marine. Look at that. You should be a Marine too. So things could work out that way, but Ace went on to be a pirate, an outlaw, going against the rules. And for Garp, it's not that simple to just save his quote-unquote son or grandson because he broke the rules. And I think Garp did all he could within the boundaries of what he could do while not losing his honor or losing his position, because he let Luffy beat him, right? He let Luffy get past him, where we know at that point Garp could just flick Luffy away with no issue. However, completely different situations. They both chose different paths, but you can speculate and say Garp did learn from Ace, and that's why he's being so forward with what he's doing. Now, there's a lot of issues with what Garp is doing. Let's not just go past that. He's about to go and challenge a Yonko. In the previous chapters, Akainu himself has highlighted how important it is, not even just Akainu, Kaku, Stussy, how much of a big deal it is when you go challenge one of these guys, because they are not government officials at all, but they maintained a balance. And if you engage, that's big news for the world government, because they might have to possibly protect you, protect different things. So Garp going and doing this, big no-no for the world government. This is not what they want. Garp does not care. He has never cared as long as he's been Marine, and they allow it because, well, he's the hero of the Marines. At some point, I wonder if they get sick of him and they say like, okay, it's time for him to be put down, okay? Because he's going to go fight Blackbeard. What if Blackbeard retaliates, right? And Blackbeard, from the recent chapters, it seems like he doesn't want smoke at one point, but then he waits for either the Straw Hat's kid or Law, and then on the other hand, he walks away from Rayleigh. So I'm like, which Blackbeard are we gonna see here? In Marineford, he was saying how it was his era. He was the strongest. Don't call me Teach. Call me Blackbeard. My mama named me Teach, but you gonna call me Blackbeard. Then Akainu pulls up. Oh God, this guy. Oh, Akainu's on the ship. We gotta get out of here. Blackbeard, what do you want? The revolutionaries pulled up on them, but then ran from CB Zoro. It's all over the place with him. So with Garp, I don't think they actually fight. I think Blackbeard would rather give up Kobe, because Garp is not coming dolo, okay? Garp is not an idiot. He pulled up and got Helmeppo. I know that doesn't feel like a lot because, well, it's Helmeppo. But for Garp, he's Luffy's grandfather. I think he knows how to make friends as well, okay? Luffy got it from somewhere, and Dragon doesn't seem like the most social person, even though he has people that seemingly would die for him. Like what Kuma did. He went face first into the red line. For what? Now, for Garp, I don't think he pulls up alone. More than likely pulls up with Sengoku. More than likely pulls up with Suru. And at that point, we have a battle on our hands. So for Blackbeard, it's like, do I fight the hero of the Marines, and Sengoku, former fleet admiral, and Suru, a vice admiral who probably could have been elevated to admiral if she wasn't so obsessed with Doflamingo. Who knows? No, probably not. Here's Kobe. But we don't know Blackbeard's plans for Kobe. Maybe that's what he wanted all along. Barter in exchange for something else. He took him for a reason. Could be a part of his grand plan. But is this part of the battle royale? Who the hell knows? Because if Garp goes at Blackbeard, people are gonna get wind of it. Maybe Crossguild gets involved, right? And at that point, we have a true battle royale. Remember I was talking about that person versus that person? It does not feel like Garp versus Blackbeard. And that person versus that person that will be completely shocking is Garp versus Aokiji. Reason being, well, so many times it's been referenced in the story that Aokiji looks up to Garp. Garp was his Marine that he wanted to be like. He owes him a debt. And Marineford saved Luffy from Akainu, from different things, because, hey, I owe your grandfather. But at this point, Aokiji is deep undercover, okay? He went to Whole Cake Island, took out commanders, took out all these different people, kidnapped a young girl, okay? People's lives are now at stake. Kidnapped a young girl that can possibly give Blackbeard the final piece to becoming the Pirate King. Yes, we need poneglyphs and etc., but he's gonna take those from Law. Come on, that's a foregone conclusion. At this point, Aokiji is undercover. People are saying Aokiji could probably turn on Blackbeard, and then him and Garp fight Blackbeard, and then Blackbeard gets... That doesn't make sense to me. Aokiji's there for a reason, and Garp making a move on Blackbeard doesn't necessarily make sense, and Aokiji may step in the way of that. And therefore, if you have Aokiji fighting Garp, listen, I love Garp. I think Garp is one of the strongest people ever. He's clearly out of his prime, but at this point, can he take on a Yonko in Blackbeard? He can take him on, but he's gonna lose. Also, can he take on a former admiral who was fighting for the title of Fleet Admiral? Let's be honest and be real with ourselves. No one thought Garp could beat Aokiji before, well, okay, let me not say no one. Most people did not think Garp could beat someone like Aokiji before this chapter. This chapter did not change much. All it showed that Garp was still active and willing to save people that are close to him, which confirms my theory I've said for years now. Ever since Ace died, I said, if Luffy was ever in serious trouble with the world government, or serious trouble where he was gonna get executed or something, Garp would go save him. And I think he would. I mean, do you guys disagree? Do you think Garp would go save Luffy if Luffy was in dire straits and needed help? I mean, I think he would, which does bring into question, did you view Ace as your real grandson? Oh, wait. Anyway. The battle royale as well that people are talking about is Elbaf, right? Because Kid is in Elbaf, as we expected based on the map and where they were going. Law isn't dead, so guys, just get that out of your heads. So Law is gonna go to Elbaf as well because the Willa D stuff with Saul, and Law has to be there. That's his entire purpose now. Finding that out for Corazon. And for Luffy, well, they're going to Elbaf now with Vegapunk, and Vegapunk may reveal some things to Saul or exchange information and may get some more conclusions in regards to the will of D, and that's exactly what we need. So, Luffy, Law, and Kid back in Elbaf. Who else is there? Well, I can think of 2 dead people that aren't really dead that may have a vendetta, and then also we gotta wrap up that story that started in Elbaf with the biggest mom herself. Yes, Big Mom I think will be in Elbaf as well, but guys, here's the silver lining. With Luffy and Kid and Law getting as strong as they have, Oda does not have to make Big Mom look like a fool anymore. I want you to understand, Oda has Big Mom looking like a fool time and time again because people that she was fighting, they weren't strong enough to do much to her. So how do we make it seem like they can escape or have a chance or do something? We have to make her look like the village idiot. But then you go on the rooftop where those guys, they're more competent, they're holding their own. Big Mom for a bit was outshining Kaido. I'm like, oh, Big Mom, she was going crazy. So it's in her. It's just that for narrative purposes, she can't do too much. In Elbaf though, Luffy's now a Yonko, gotten a lot stronger. Law and Kid took out Big Mom already. They will not have to hold back with Big Mom. You can have Big Mom looking as saucy as you want because now the combatants have grown and they've gotten to a point where they can actually hold off Big Mom and do a good job. However, this would be Big Mom's character arc. You have to wrap it up and have her at some point find out the story of Mother Carmel. Pudding has to be there. Now, where is Pudding? She's captured by Aokiji. How does Pudding get to Elbaf? Who the hell knows? But I think it would wrap it up pretty nicely. Pudding is in Elbaf, Big Mom is in Elbaf, Straw Hats are in Elbaf. Big Mom finds out about what exactly happened, and then they take her old ass back to Whole Cake Island, okay? And then she retires, Katakuri becomes a Yonko, and then Katakuri becomes one of the strongest characters in the story. Okay, you can probably leave out the last part about Katakuri. Either way, I think this battle royale is going to be insane because, again, people are speculating that Elbaf could be Shanks' territory. So, with that being said, if we got Shanks, Luffy, Big Mom, even Kaido, Kid, Law, and even others showing up in Elbaf, that could be an insane battle royale that Oda could be referencing, or it could be in Hachinosu, where Garp and Blackbeard go at it, and somebody catches wind like Crosskill. They go over there to possibly capture the Marine Garp because that bounty could be really juicy. So we could have a full-on battle royale on both fronts, guys. It could get really insane, but give me your thoughts. Which battle royale makes the most sense or is more likely to happen, or both kind of could happen? But yeah, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BrockWithTheAce. Follow me on Instagram, BrockWithTheAce. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to my members. I really appreciate you guys as well. And guys, well, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.